Start with Ohio State, number 1 in the college football playoff ranking last week. In all likelihood, they'll stay there, but it wasn't simple against Rutgers. And again, a lot of credit to Greg Schiano's team for the way they battled. And honestly, if there's a couple more things that go maybe the other way, 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 1 pass that gets caught, this could have looked a little different. Ohio State pulled away late, 35-16, but Rutgers was up 9-7 at half. They could have been up more if they had punched a couple in. So this was a game that, honestly, if you didn't believe in Rutgers before, I feel like you've got to leave this game believing in what they've done this year and what they're going to have moving forward. But business as usual, and that defense, again, for the Buckeyes comes through.
So let's talk about Rutgers first. Here's what's real about Rutgers and legitimate. Number one, they came into the game ranked in the top 10 in total defense. Okay. So Greg Schiano is a very good defensive football coach, defensive mind, and they play solid defense. Okay. They played well against Michigan earlier in the year.
Yep.
Okay. Till late when Michigan kind of took control of the game. So that's legit. They can legit run the football. Okay. Yep. Kyle Monangai is an outstanding running back, runs hard. And Gavin Wimsatt, who's not a great passer right now, can also run the football. So their ability to run the football is real. They had a perfect plan going into this game, right? Control the ball, run it, limit the possessions Ohio State had. They would let the play clock go down just about every play. They were shortening the game, right? And it was, other than what you mentioned, that they couldn't get touchdowns when they were in the red zone. And credit Ohio State's defense for being stingy when they got down there, having to settle for field goals. They still had the lead at half, and they were getting the opening kickoff to start the third quarter. And they marched all the way down the field.
Yep.
And there was the play that turned the game was at the end of that drive. They're on about the 15-yard line. They tried a little kind of fake the quarterback power and a pop pass to the back. And Josh Proctor, the safety who got hurt on the play, made a great play on the ball. Ball went up in the air, and it was returned 93 yards for a touchdown by Ohio State. And that's when the game changed and went in the favor of the Buckeyes. And they kind of started feeding the ball in the second half to TreVeyon Henderson. I think he had 78 yards in the second half. And as we saw the last Ohio State game, they are a different team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, when TreVeyon Henderson is on the field. I mean, Marvin Harrison is still the best player on their team, but he only had 4 catches for 25 yards. 2 of them were for touchdowns, but TreVeyon Henderson kind of put the team on his back in the second half, and that's how Ohio State was able to kind of distance themselves from Rutgers when it was all said and done.
That interception, that pick six, wasn't necessarily completely on Gavin Wimsatt. You know, as you mentioned, he's not necessarily a natural passer yet, and I think is working towards that. He was a fairly highly touted recruit getting to Rutgers and has really proven to be a solid leader so far, a really good runner of the football. If he can develop that passing a little bit, if he can develop that throwing mechanics and just accuracy and everything that goes with it, Rutgers the next couple of years will be fun. And I think that they've got all the infrastructure in place with Greg Schiano. So a lot of it, I think, you don't like to say they're moral victories, and I don't think Greg Schiano's a moral victory type of guy. But if you were to take some, I think Rutgers has a lot to be excited and proud about the way that they fought in that game. But Ohio State finds their way. That 93-yard pick six, as Todd mentioned, was kind of the igniter, and then they went from there.